MyEG Services Group MD Wong says he is not planning to acquire diversified entity Malayan United Industries and that he had earlier bought MUI shares as a passive investment. Wong said this in a statement today in response to news reports which insinuated he is planning to acquire MUI. The statement says Wong is not looking to buy out MUI, whose businesses include hotels, financial services and properties. Wong also says he had earlier bought shares in internet-based services provider Palette Multimedia Berhad as a passive investment. However, he says what certain media quarters have done is they have extracted this information from the annual reports and published stories that created the misperception of impending M&A activity. Wong says he has disposed all of his shareholding in MUI and Palette and will refrain from making any passive investments in listed equities in the future. Presenteeism is taking a toll on both Malaysian employees and employers. According to an AIA Vitality survey, workers who are unwell are causing companies to lose 67 days of productive work time per employee in a year. Out of these 67 days lost, 8.2 days were attributed to actual absence from work, while a whopping 58.8 days were due to presenteeism, basically the loss of productivity from staff who show up to work even when they are unwell. In total, it is estimated to have cost an employer on average 2.7 million ringgit per year. Christian Van Stolk is the Vice President of RAND Europe, the research agency commissioned by AIA Berhad to conduct the study. And he says, aside from workplace policies, job demands are also being blamed for presenteeism, with heavy workloads, understaffing, overtime, and looming deadlines all motivating people to work, even though they are in less than optimal health. The survey also revealed highly concerning issues in regards to health and well-being of the workforce in Malaysia. Among others, 90% do not have a balanced diet, 64% were physically inactive, 56% sleep less than 7 hours a night, 53% have at least one dimension of work-related stress. Based on the survey, Malaysians also work the longest hours among the countries surveyed, on average 15 hours more than their contracted hours each week, compared to employees in Singapore, Hong Kong and Australia. Following possibly the nation's biggest data breach, regional cybersecurity services provider Kuan Malaysia warns that the personal data belonging to 46.2 million mobile accounts in Malaysia are not just being sold for cheap, they're also being offered anonymously. If you recall, the data, which includes phone numbers, addresses and SIM card infos, is being offered for just 1 Bitcoin, or about 32,000 ringgit at current market price. A transaction in Bitcoin means that any company or person, be they hackers or blackmailers, can anonymously purchase the whole list without being tracked. Kuan Malaysia says such information may be used by hackers to carry out social engineering attacks to trick users into divulging financial information and passwords, or phone cloning, where the identity of the user is copied into another phone. Even worse, company GM Ivan Wen says it is almost impossible to stop any sale of leaked data unless the affected companies pay a ransom to the hacker or data thief. Even then, paying a ransom doesn't guarantee that the data will not be leaked, which is why it does not encourage companies to do so. And this extremely attractive pricing for so much data will lead to a rise in the number of buyers who are confident they cannot be tracked. At this stage, it is unclear if a ransom has been demanded from the telco companies. MRT Corp expects to kick off construction of the third MRT line by as early as the third quarter of 2019. This is after the deadline for the 40 billion ringgit project was moved forward to 2025, 2 years ahead of the original 2027 under Budget 2018. Its chief Shahril Mokhtar adds that the company also wants the construction of Line 3 to run concurrently with the construction of Line 2. Shahril says MRT Corp has set 2 milestones for the construction of Line 3. The first phase is to be completed by the end of 2025, while the second phase should be done by end 2026. Shahril also quashed speculation by analysts that no local contractors are seen to be fulfilling the technical experience required to bid for the leading contractor role. He says he is in talk with capable ones almost on a weekly basis. And to ensure smooth completion of the Line 3, the local firms are allowed to partner with 8 firms. Maybank foresees its mobile banking transaction value reaching 22 billion ringgit by end 2017, up from 16 billion ringgit a year earlier. Growth will be driven by higher adoption of its maybank2u.com mobile banking app. Group CTO Muhammad Suhail Amar Suraj says the 2017 year-to-date transaction value is at 19 billion ringgit. He said both the number and value of mobile transactions particularly have been growing at an astounding pace of over 50% since 2015. And the bank estimates by the end of 2017, 22 billion in transaction value would have been conducted via its mobile platform this year. Attributing the growth to the adoption rate of its refreshed app, he says the bank chose to take the personalized and simplified approach to woo more users.